I'm so excited to be with you today. Welcome to Best Life Abroad, Not Your Average Travel Podcast. I am Dr. Raquel, and if you are listening today, it is because this idea of living abroad is not just a passing thought for you, but it is really your mission, and it's something that you have decided that you want to make happen. And I'm super excited to be here with you in this new season of Best Life Abroad, Not Your Average Travel Podcast. So I am currently joining you while I'm living my best life in Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic. And it is giving me the reprieve and recovery that I need right now. So I'm super excited to be with you, and I'm super excited that you're here with me today. So welcome. This is our new season, which is all about action. And so I'm going to be giving you the info and the tools to move from research mode to real steps. Okay, so it's all about building momentum with accountability, with intention, and with community. Okay, so thank you so much for being here and for trusting me to be a part of your journey. I really appreciate that. So, let's get into the business. Okay, so let's talk about why this moment right now is actually really an important time to move from just kind of vision boarding and planning to action. So at the start of this year, several countries made big changes to their residency and citizenship requirements and rules, okay? And specifically Europe, for those of you who are trying to move to Europe. So this is not like maybe someday we're going to change some things, but this is already in effect, and they are already impacting how people can move around the world, especially U.S. citizens. And so just to give you a quick snapshot, for example, in the UK, they extended its permanent residency timeline from 5 years to 10 years for many visa holders. So that's 5 more years of having to stay eligible. For those of y'all who have already lived abroad, you know what it is. For having to prove your income, for having to navigate all of the foreign paperwork and requirements and regulations and things. So that is really a big shift, especially if your long-term goal is to settle in the UK. France also rolled out much stricter language requirements for people who are applying for residency and citizenship. And so these tests have been noted in several different articles and research as being like super intense, not just conversational tests, but like really formal academic exams. Okay, Portugal. All I hear about is this Portugal Golden Visa, but they have changed the regulations to the Golden Visa program in Portugal. So you used to be able to qualify by having an investment in real estate. So basically, you want to move to Portugal, you buy a home meeting that financial requirement that your family plans to live in, and you're good. But that is no longer an option. So this program has shifted towards a cultural or fund-based contribution into Portugal. And that changes the game for a lot of people, because now that means you have to have that investment in addition to wherever you and your family plan on living. Okay. Italy also made it harder to claim citizenship by descent. So I've actually had conversations with several people who are like, I'm a Brooklyn Italian, and so I plan my great grandfather is from Italy, and so I plan on getting some citizenship and moving back and buying this €1 house. But if you were hoping to reconnect with your roots and via your great grandparents or your grandparents in Italy, now you have to show tighter documentation. Okay, so that is not only proof that your ancestors lived in Italy, but that they were born in Italy and that they held citizenship in Italy. So that changes the program. And what does this mean for you? So this means that the world is tightening up. Okay, so we are tightening up on the U.S. side, and the world is like, okay, you want to tighten up? Well, we can tighten up too. So countries are refining the terms of who gets to live in their countries. And while that, of course, is their right to do that, it also means that waiting too long could mean missing specific windows that allow you to get either into certain places a certain way that you may have kind of been banking on. Maybe you were banking on that golden visa, like, okay, we're just going to save this amount of money and then I'm going to buy a house in Portugal and then we're out. But that's not an option anymore. Okay. And so that just shows you how quickly things can change and how much that can then impact what your plan is if you stay in planning mode for too long. Okay. And so maybe you've just been sitting on the idea of moving abroad for a while. Maybe you're kind of just testing it out, seeing what I have to say. You've been doing the research, you've been doing the vision boarding, you've been saving your links, and you've been waiting until the right time to like really start making it happen. And so if that's you, I just want to clearly say something to you that this is not about panic. This is about being intentional. Okay. So you don't need to have every detail figured out. You don't need to have a passport full of stamps. You don't need to have $50,000 in the bank. You just need a plan and you need to start. Okay. So when you move with clarity, things just start opening up. You get more information. But when you wait, then the rules might change. And the things that you have been banking on all this time, you may lose that option. And that you could have already like been somewhere and settled and had that thing happen already. So this podcast season is really designed to walk you through making your plan, but also to be an accountability partner for you. So every episode includes this, including this one. We will end with specific concrete things that I want you to do in 7 days or less before we get into the next podcast episode with some new things to do. So this is no fluff. This is not intended to be overwhelming. This is intended to be a season of action. Okay. So what I want you to do for this week, okay, I want you to set your timeline for when you want to ideally be living or moving abroad. Okay. And if you're only moving, let's say you're moving for like 6 months at a time, say you're moving just for the summers, you can set your timeline for that. So let's say you're like, okay, this is this summer. By next summer, I want to be spending the summer in this place, 3 months in this place. So you want to choose a month and a year for your move. And even if it's not a year or 2 years out, you need to put it on the calendar, because what that does is it then starts to shape how you are thinking about all the things that you need to do. Okay. So if you're like, okay, I want to move by this time. I want to live in this place. This is the cost of living in that place. So this is how much I'd like to have saved in order to be able to have 3 months of just being and living and not having to worry about any of the things in that place. Then that starts to shape how you move and how you make decisions right now. And so it's important for you to really set your timeline, your month and your year of your move. Start doing that right now. Okay. Second thing I want you to do. In this week, I want you to pick 2 countries to do a deep dive research. Get lost in all the weeds. Okay. Stop researching everywhere. Everywhere is not an option. You're going to move to one place. Okay. So narrow it down to 2 places that you feel like really align with your goals and what you're trying to do and what you want to have while you're abroad. You are going to start with official websites for government websites. Okay. There is information all over the place. ChatGPT will tell you everything, just make up stuff. So you don't want to rely on all the people and the things. You want to start with a government foundation of them telling you this is what you need in order to be able to go to these places. Okay. And then you want to start looking at information from other people to build on that foundation. Okay. You can look at YouTube channels, but please, please, please look at information, YouTube channels, Instagrams from people who have actually lived abroad. There are so many times I see people posting stuff and I'm like, you just Google some things. You just looked up some stuff because that is not even accurate. Okay. So you want to look at information from people who have done the thing and then take information from them. Okay. You want to use cost of living tools. Like I always say, I've mentioned it a million times. Numbeo is one of my favorites. Expatistan is another one that's pretty good. I just like Numbeo because I'm very specific on the things that I like and the things I want to spend my money on. And you can get very granular with Numbeo. But there are many cost of living calculators out there. Okay. Then you want to take one specific, you will hear me say specific 7,952 times over the course of this episode, but you want one dedicated folder for everything. Okay. That could be a Google Drive folder. That could be a digital notebook. That could be an actual folder that you are putting some papers in. And yes, I am old school and that is what I have. Okay. But that is one home for all the things. That's going to be, if you have a visa checklist, which I do, that's in there. Any scanned documents, any copies of passports and birth certificates, any budget drafts, any like resources, any workbooks that you've been working on, figuring out where we want to be, why we want to be there. You will thank yourself and you will thank me later because it is so amazing when you are like going to a consular visit, or like when you are talking to someone on the phone and you have one specific place that you will go to, and you know every single thing that you've looked at, that you've researched, that you need is in that one spot. Okay. And I also want you to do a financial readiness checklist. Okay. So again, this does not mean everything is saved right now, but what you do need to know, and Numbeo, again, it's kind of all of these are intertwined. Okay. So it's not like 7 million different things you need to do by next week, but I want you to start looking at numbers. So how much money do you have coming in? How much money do you have going out? And then what would like 3 to 6 months of living in that specific destination that you want to be in cost? Okay. So again, clarity is the goal. It is not perfection. It is not knowing all the things. And I have said it many times before, you will never know all the things. There will always be something that pops up and you're like, nah, nobody told me that. And you know why? Because rules change, governments change, requirements change. So you will be surprised over the course of this process. But there's nothing like a surprise, and you're like, let me go to my one folder and get that information out for you because I already have it. Okay. So just start putting your things together. It is not about perfection. It is about clarity. It is about intentionality, and it is about making progress, making some moves right now. We're going from getting it out of your mind to starting to walk through the things. And the last thing, again, super easy for you to do by next week. I want you to join one expat or relocation group. Okay. So Facebook has 1 million of them. So all you have to do is type in exactly like, what is your biggest fear? Or is your fear being a family you're a family of 4 living in Kenya? So then you join Families in Kenya Facebook group. Okay. Is your biggest fear being a single mom in Mexico? Then you join Single Moms in Mexico Facebook group. Okay. You are not alone in this process. There are people who are doing it right now. They are in the same place as you. They are making their plan. There are people who already made their plan and now they're packing up their things and they are ready to move. There are people who are adjusting to life in that new place. So you can learn from people in real time who are doing the same thing that you're doing, or who might be 1 step or 2 steps ahead of you. And you need to know everything from them too. So they are some of the best places to get like real information. Like I said, those government websites, those are the foundation. But then the people who are in the process of doing it, I literally just did it myself. Like I went to the Mexican consulate to get our visa process. I was told one thing. I went to another person who had just gone through the process. They were like, nope, go to this consulate, do this and do this differently. And then that's exactly what we did. Okay. So these are places where you can really build on that information that you need in order to be successful. Okay. So just join one space, read all the things, listen to what the people are saying. And then if you have questions, like nagging questions that are really, you feel like are the things that are holding you back from moving forward and making a decision and moving, ask those questions in there. People are quick to help you because they have been through the process already themselves. Okay. So they know what it's like to be where you are. Okay. So you have the things that I want you to do this week. I'm going to tell you one more time. I want you to set your timeline. Choose your month and your year. When do you want to be out? Okay. Pick 2 countries to research. That is it. Your top 2, period. Okay. Do not pick 3 and come back and be like, well, I had 3. No, 2. Because then we're narrowing it to 1. Okay. Get one place that you will put every single thing. Okay. Start your financial readiness. How much money do you have? How much money will you have? How much money do you need to spend? All right. And then join one group on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on all the things. Okay. So again, this season, you are going to be creating your plan, and you are going to start doing things. Okay. So I am bringing you all the information that I know from years of living and working abroad, from helping people through the visa process, the experiences that I've had, from right now figuring out how to make my moves for myself and my family when we are during our moving process. And then also just how to make sure that you just keep moving forward. This process gets stifled because people stop doing stuff. Like, this is not a process. You can stop doing stuff, but you're not moving anywhere. That's just how it works. So if you want to continue to make progress and move forward, you have to be doing the things. So again, we are going to be walking lock and step and in accountability during this season. Okay. So you don't have to rush. You don't have to panic. You don't have to freak out. But what you do have to do is start. There is no perfect time. There's just your time. And the moment that you say, yes, this is it, I'm going to make this happen, then that's it. You are not behind. You are not late, but you are capable of taking the next steps, and you are capable of doing that now. So if this episode resonated with you, forward it to a friend who's thinking about moving abroad. So again, in this season of Best Life Abroad, Not Your Average Travel Podcast, we are not just planning. We are moving intentionally together. Okay. So if you need help making your move abroad plan, of course, I am here to help you. I am Dr. Raquel. Head to my website, www.yourbestlifeabroad.com. And please look at the resources that are there. Scroll to the bottom, add your email so that you can get information from me, especially over the next 8 weeks, because I will be giving you all the info on how to make sure that you are keeping that accountability and keeping that move abroad plan moving forward. So again, I'm here in the beautiful DR, so I'm about to go live my best life and jump in this pool. I know y'all hear this babbling brook in this beautiful pool in the background, and I am about to go get in some water. So I am so excited that you are moving forward. I am so excited to go through this journey with you. Let's go. Let's make this vision a reality. And I look forward to talking to y'all next week. Okay, bye.